Hello everyone, welcome to Basically Neda. I'm Neda, and this is my December 2024 wrap-up. So in the month of December, I read 8 books, mostly audiobooks, so I could meet my 2024 goal for the year. So yeah, it was very busy. And I got sick, so now I'm doing all my videos. Sorry about not being present on YouTube. So here are my 8 books that I read in December. So the first book that I finished in December was She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. It's about a girl who takes her brother's identity when her brother dies in order to survive during the Mongol rules in 1348 China. And it was good. It was just, it started very good, and then it slowed down in the pacing, and it was like it's supposed to be a historical fantasy, but then it became more of a romantic fantasy. So that's the part that I didn't like, and it just like the pacing started good very fast and then slowed down for the plot, and it just didn't work for me for that part. And that's why I gave it a 3-star rating. And then the second book that I finished in December was The Library of the Dead by T.L. Hutch. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. I've never heard how you say this name, so it's Huchu. And it was good. It's a young adult fantasy magic story. The main character, she is like a detective magician kind of thing, and a boy goes missing, and she goes to find him in the Library of the Dead. It went very fast, short chapters, and it was good until started explaining the atmosphere a little too much, and a little too much of info dumping and those kind of things, and that's why I give it a 3-star. It's good. It just was a bit of info dumping and pacing issues and those kind of things. So yeah, and then the third book that I finished in December was The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. A high imperial officer is found dead in a mansion, and there's a tree growing out of him. It is a typical Robert Jackson Bennett writing. It is like a detective, magical. Well, it's not really magical. There is some magic in it, but it's more sci-fi. Yeah, I found it more sci-fi than fantasy. And yeah, if you like Robert Jackson Bennett's writing, then you will like this. His writing is usually a 3 for me, which is what this ended up being. Like, it's enjoyable, but it doesn't, there's too much info dumping for me. So yeah, it might be fun for other people. I just found it a little too much. And I would just wanted the plot to move on and that kind of thing. So yeah, it was good. I don't know if I'll pick up the second one that's coming up this year, but we'll see. Then I picked up The Maid by Nita Prose. This was supposed to be my Canadian Author of the Month book. I read one book of like one Canadian book a year, a month. So this was one of those I picked up because she's a Canadian writer. It was short, so I picked it up. It's very popular, and I was just like, okay, let's see what the hype is about. And it's about this maid who finds a guest dead in his hotel room, and it's just her telling her story. It goes back and forth between present and past, and it was very much a dramatic soap opera. If you like those kind of things, it was kind of like Passions. This tells my age. When I was like a teenager, I used to watch Passions. Anyway, this is basically like her telling her story, and it just didn't really work for me. It was very character driven, very like the plot was not like very slow, very slow. We kept talking, we kept hearing about her and what happened before and what happened after, and I wanted the thriller. I wanted the mystery, like what happened to this person, and we just kept getting stories about her past, and then what happened before what this when she found this person. It just went on and on and on, and I'm just like, no, this is not what I signed up for. So I gave it a 2.5 star. It wasn't the best one that I picked up this year. I was like, maybe if I was in my 20s, I probably would have liked it. But now, no, it's not fun for me. Anyways, yeah, it's very popular. If you want to try it, go ahead. But yeah, not a fun one. And then the 5th book that I picked up, this one I had picked up in July, and I ended up stopping at 17% because it gave me a reading slump. This is Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. I love Robin Hobb's writing, but this was just too many POVs and too many character building. Like it is the first book of the series, so that's probably why it was just very, like, the plot was very slow. It's about a bunch of pirates on a ship, magical things happen, and yeah, I gave it a 3-star rating. I finally finished it, and yeah, it was okay. It's just not what I was expecting, because the Farseer trilogy was really good, and then I went into this thinking, oh, it's gonna be the same kind of thing, and then not really. It was more character forward than having the plot go. So I still enjoyed it, I just didn't see it as the same way as Farseer. So yeah, and then the 7th book that I picked up is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I saw Tim Burbage Reed talk about it. It was one of his mystery books that his sister-in-law had given him for December, I think. And he did a very good job at reviewing it. I enjoyed hearing about it, and I liked the recommendation, so I picked it up as well. And I enjoyed it. It's very cozy, magical realism. There are 4 short stories. It's a collection of 4 short stories based on like people's relationships and time travel and those kind of things. I just don't want to say too much about it because it's very short and it's just would give away all of the stuff that happens. But I enjoyed it. It wasn't that big of a deal to me, but it was a good read. So I give it a 3-star. It wasn't like about me or anything. It was more like, I don't know if you guys remember when Chicken Soup of the Soul was big in like the early 2000s, and I had like my middle school teachers would read it to us. So it's kind of like that to me. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it was cool. And then the last book that I picked up was The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. And oh boy, this one was okay. It has a good like magical system, character building, those kind of things. But it was like, okay, that you're talking about the characters, you're telling us the story, and you're just giving us this magical stuff, and then all of a sudden there would be like just random dump of misogynistic phrases, and I was just like, what? Why? This has nothing to do with the story. Why would you put this in there? Like, what? Okay. And like, this book was written in the 2010s. Like, why? Like, I would get it if it was like in the 70s or the 60s. Just really? People still talk like that? It was like, okay. And yeah, I was just stunned. Like, I liked the magic system. I liked the way that the story was being told until it just, all those phrases just got dumped on me. That's why I give it a 3. I don't think I'm gonna pick up the next book. Sorry. Brent Weeks is not for me anymore. So yeah, those were all the 8 books that I read. And I read them through, like, rushed through all of it to get to the end of December. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this, like my content, please subscribe. And thank you for sticking to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.